Picture this, brother. You've planned the perfect evening. You've chosen the right words, your humor lands, your confidence radiates. You believe you're in control, that attraction is flowing naturally. And yet, something feels off. She laughs at your jokes, but then questions your opinion. She teases you, but it isn't playful. It's probing. She challenges a decision you just made, and suddenly you're doubting yourself. You replay every moment in your head, searching for what went wrong. Every woman is testing you. Not consciously, not to hurt you, but hardwired, programmed by biology, evolution, and centuries of survival instincts to probe your strength, your composure, your frame. And here's the truth most men will never admit, even to themselves. If you fail these tests, no amount of charm, effort, or attention will save you. Attraction dies silently. Respect slips away. And you might not even understand why. What I'm about to tell you will change the way you see every interaction, every challenge, and every subtle test she throws your way. If you pay attention, you can stop failing without even realizing you're being tested. The betrayal, illusion versus reality. Brother, listen. You've been told that charm, humor, persistence, and effort are the keys to attraction. You believe that if you invest enough time, give enough attention, or say the right things, respect and desire will naturally follow. That is the illusion. Reality hits differently. Every subtle challenge, every teasing remark, every contradiction is a test. She's watching how you react, whether you crumble or stay unshakable. Most men don't even realize it. They mistake these tests for criticism, for rejection, for something they did wrong. Behavioral examples. She laughs at your jokes, but immediately questions your opinion afterward, as if measuring your confidence. She subtly compares you to someone else, a friend, an ex, or even a stranger, to see if you flinch. She cancels plans last minute, observing whether you panic, beg, or silently accept. She teases or mocks a small choice you made, watching for overreaction. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, sharp, confident, successful, spent weeks trying to impress a woman. Perfect dates, thoughtful gestures, subtle humor. One evening, she casually questioned a career decision he had made months ago. He froze. He overexplained. He apologized for a choice he wasn't even wrong about. Attraction? Evaporated. The harsh truth? She wasn't attacking him. She was testing him. And he failed. This is what most men never see. Every reaction you give is being scanned by a mechanism older than any social norm, older than any dating app. Your effort, your charm, your being nice, they mean nothing if your emotional frame crumbles under the test. Brother, the illusion is comforting. The reality is brutal. And until you understand the difference, you will continue to fail silently, wondering why attraction disappears, respect fades, and connection slips through your fingers. The first step in mastery is recognizing the betrayal. Not personal, not malicious, but unavoidable. It's the truth of the game you didn't realize you were playing. The biological truth. Evolutionary imperative. Brother, here's where the illusion meets hard reality. Every test, every subtle challenge has a purpose. It's not personal. It's biological. The female brain is hardwired to evaluate resilience, confidence, and resourcefulness. This is a biological imperative, a survival mechanism honed over tens of thousands of years. Women are programmed to scan for stability, emotional control, and resource value, even in the smallest interactions. Behavioral examples of this evolutionary design: light teasing, to measure your composure under minor stress; questioning your judgment, to see if you overreact or maintain calm; withholding attention, to gauge whether you maintain focus and self-reliance. Case study. In hunter-gatherer societies, subtle challenges were literal tests of survival. A man who lost composure over scarcity, danger, or social scrutiny was rejected. His gene line faded. His frame didn't just fail in attraction, it failed in survival. And the echoes of that programming remain in the modern female brain. Psychological reference. When tested, a man's brain releases cortisol if he reacts emotionally: stress, insecurity, fear. If he maintains composure, dopamine signals strength and reliability. Every micro-reaction is being scanned. Every subtle behavioral cue is logged unconsciously. Anecdote. A friend of mine once cracked under a minor critique about his hobbies. He apologized. He over-explained. She lost interest. Not because she disliked him, but because, on a neurological level, his frame signaled weakness. Brother, the truth is uncomfortable. Attraction isn't about charm, effort, or being nice. It's biological. It's hardwired. Women are testing your resilience, your confidence, your frame, because evolution programmed them to do so. The first betrayal was realizing the illusion. The second is understanding why she tests you. Only then can mastery begin. The mechanism, how it works psychologically and neurologically. Brother, this is where it gets subtle, almost invisible, but ruthless. The tests aren't just social games. They are neurological triggers, hardwired reactions that determine attraction and respect in real time. Every time she challenges you, teases you, or questions a choice, your brain reacts. Cortisol spikes, stress, insecurity, fear. Dopamine spikes in confident men, reward, stability, calm authority. Your emotional mechanism is being scanned, measured, and logged, unconsciously. Behavioral examples: silent treatment to gauge patience and emotional resilience, minor disagreements to provoke reaction. Will you overreact or stay steady? Pseudo-disinterest. Does it trigger neediness or maintain your calm frame? Case study. One man went on a date. She lightly mocked a hobby he loved. Instantly, his cortisol surged. He over-explained, apologized, tried to justify. Attraction dropped. Frame shattered. Contrast. Another man faced the same tease. He laughed, shrugged, calmly redirected the conversation. Dopamine released. Her interest increased, subtly but significantly. Frame intact. Magnetic. Brother, this is the mechanism most men never see. It's not about what you say, how much effort you invest, or how charming you are. It's about how your brain reacts. Under stress, under subtle challenge, under test conditions that most men don't even recognize. Anecdote. A friend spent months overcompensating for minor tests. He over-explained, appeased, chased validation. Every failure triggered more cortisol, more insecurity. Attraction decayed silently. He never realized he was failing the biology behind the interaction. This is why most men collapse emotionally without understanding why. The mechanism is invisible, yet decisive. And until you understand it, brother, you will remain reactive, unsteady, and invisible in the subconscious calculus of attraction. The first step is understanding the betrayal. The second, understanding biology. The third, mastering the mechanism.
The warning signs. Observable, relatable examples.
Brother, understanding biology is one thing. Recognizing it in real life, that's where most men fail. The tests are subtle, embedded in everyday interactions. Miss them and you'll fail without realizing it. Behavioral examples. She questions your decisions repeatedly, not out of malice, but to measure consistency and confidence. She laughs at your expense, but subtly, probing whether you crumble under judgment or maintain composure. She tests your time and attention, cancels, reschedules, or acts slightly disinterested to see if you overreact. She makes small comparisons to others, not to insult, but to gauge your emotional stability. Anecdote. One friend thought she was upset over a canceled dinner. In reality, she was testing whether he could remain patient and composed. He panicked, texted incessantly, apologized unnecessarily, and failed the test. Attraction declined, silently but decisively. Another subtle warning sign? Contradictions. She says one thing, does another. Most men obsess over the words, not the behavior. But brother, behavior reveals the frame of her subconscious test. Are you steady, or do you wobble at the first discrepancy? Every interaction carries data. Every small test, laughs, challenges, contradictions, is being recorded by her emotional mechanism. Miss them, react emotionally, and you erode your own frame. Brother, here's the bitter truth. These tests are everywhere. Cafes, dates, text messages, casual conversations. Most men fail them unknowingly, not because they lack charm, effort, or nice guy traits, but because they don't recognize the signs. Recognizing the warning signs is your first step toward mastery. Observe, interpret, stay steady. The tests are not personal, they are programmed. And until you see them, you are a reactive player in a game you don't even understand. The social conspiracy. Systems against men. Brother, understanding biology and behavior is critical. But there's a second battlefield you rarely see: society itself. The game is rigged, not just by nature, but by culture, media, and social programming. Modern society rewards appeasement, not emotional control. Nice guys are praised for bending, apologizing, and overcompensating. Social media reinforces validation seeking, rewarding the man who reacts emotionally instead of maintaining his frame. Behavioral examples. Men are encouraged to chase approval, likes, texts, attention, rather than develop internal value. Feminist narratives often praise reactive men who appease, subtly discouraging stoic, confident behavior. Dating apps and modern hookup culture condition men to overinvest in validation, while women are subtly primed to test resilience. Case study. A man spent months being charming, attentive, trying his best. She challenged him subtly, he reacted emotionally, and the attraction collapsed. Society told him, "Be nice, be attentive, she'll like you." Biology told him, "Fail the test, lose value." The clash is brutal and unconscious. Brother, this is a silent war. You are fighting not just against hardwired biological tests, but against cultural programming designed to weaken your frame. Every text, every interaction, every subtle emotional reaction, you are being tested by biology and judged by social expectation. Anecdote. Another friend, conditioned by years of "be a good guy" advice, consistently over-explained and sought approval. He never realized that society's narrative was working against him. Attraction eroded without him understanding why. This is the harsh truth. Most men fail not because they are weak, but because the environment is engineered to encourage failure. You're playing a rigged game, and recognizing the rules is the first step toward winning. The first, betrayal, illusion. The second, biology. The third, culture. Understanding this social conspiracy is crucial before we reach the inevitable collapse, the emotional destruction men face when frame fails.
The inevitable collapse. Emotional destruction. Brother, this is where the illusion, biology, and social programming converge. For men who fail these tests repeatedly, collapse is inevitable. Emotional destruction isn't loud. It's subtle, silent, and corrosive. Behavioral examples. Over-explaining choices after minor criticism. Seeking reassurance repeatedly. Texts, calls, messages. Obsessively replaying interactions, analyzing every word. Case study. One man, after weeks of subtle tests, panicked when she canceled a casual outing. He messaged repeatedly, apologized unnecessarily, tried to justify a decision she hadn't even criticized. Attraction evaporated. His emotional frame was shattered before he even realized he was being tested. Another friend. He overcompensated for every minor failure. Extra attention, excessive charm, trying harder and harder to win her over. Each failure amplified cortisol, insecurity, and self-doubt. The dopamine of confidence vanished. Frame collapsed. Emotional destruction set in quietly, but completely. Brother, most men never recover fully. They internalize failure, blaming themselves, believing they weren't good enough. Yet the truth is harsher. Failure wasn't personal. It was biological and social programming in action. The tests were inevitable. The collapse was inevitable. The pain of collapse is necessary. It's a wake-up call. Most men spend years wandering in confusion, wondering why attraction fades, why respect disappears, why connection never solidifies. The truth? They never mastered their frame, and they never understood the battlefield. Brother, recognizing the collapse is the first step toward preventing it. Only by understanding the betrayal, biology, and social programming can you reclaim your emotional authority. The bitter truth is coming next, the harsh reality that most men avoid facing until it's too late. The bitter truth, harsh reality. Brother, here's the truth most men never want to hear. Every woman is testing you. Every challenge, every tease, every subtle contradiction is hardwired, biological, unavoidable. It's not personal. It's survival programming. Behavioral examples. Men misinterpret tests as criticism or rejection, reacting emotionally. They believe effort alone, charm, gifts, attention, will secure attraction. They chase approval instead of maintaining frame, eroding their own value. Anecdote. A friend spent months being the perfect man, attentive, thoughtful, eager to please. A minor teasing comment about his career, and he overreacted. She lost interest. Not because he wasn't good enough, but because his frame crumbled under a subtle, programmed test he never saw coming. Brother, attraction is rarely given for effort alone. Respect is not automatic. You must earn it through consistency, presence, and unshakable emotional authority. Most men fail this lesson because they are trapped in illusions of kindness, charm, and effort. Psychological reference. Your brain releases cortisol when you react emotionally, signaling weakness. Dopamine flows when you remain steady, signaling strength. Yet most men remain blind to the chemistry guiding every interaction. Here's the bitterest part. The game is impartial. It doesn't reward intention, effort, or morality. It rewards results. Emotional composure, frame, stability, resilience. Brother, if you do not face this reality, the cycle of confusion, rejection, and silent failure continues. You may blame yourself, blame her, or blame society. But until you accept the harsh truth, you remain reactive, invisible, and powerless in the subconscious calculus of attraction. The collapse was inevitable. The tests were inevitable. And the truth, hard, uncomfortable, relentless, is that mastery is the only path forward. Next, we'll uncover the solution framework, how to reclaim your frame, your authority, and your attraction. The solution framework, masculine resolution. Brother, this is the awakening. Understanding the tests, the biology, the social programming, that's the first step. The next is mastery. The solution is simple, yet brutally effective. It requires discipline, awareness, and unshakable frame. Step 1. Recognize the tests without personalizing them. Every tease, every contradiction, every subtle challenge is a probe. Observe it, measure it, but never internalize it. Your value isn't in her reaction, it's in your frame. Step 2. Maintain unshakable emotional authority. Cortisol spikes destroy attraction. Dopamine signals strength. Laugh at minor critiques. Stay calm when plans change. Redirect conversations without apology or over-explanation. Stability breeds respect. Step 3. Respond strategically, not emotionally. Actions speak louder than words. Your choices, your calm, your presence, these are your signals of value. Overreacting or seeking validation erodes your frame. Measured responses amplify it. Step 4. Align your lifestyle with internal value, not external approval. Pursue goals, hobbies, mastery. Your life becomes magnetic when it doesn't revolve around validation. She may test you, but your frame becomes untouchable because your dopamine isn't dependent on approval. Case study. A friend of mine faced a subtle challenge, a tease about his career. Instead of reacting, he laughed lightly, reaffirmed his decision calmly, and moved on. Her dopamine increased. Attraction strengthened. Frame intact. Magnetic. Behavioral examples of mastery. Laughing off minor criticisms without overcompensation. Setting boundaries calmly and consistently. Prioritizing your life, goals, and internal value over external validation. Brother, every man who masters his frame stops being reactive. He becomes magnetic by default. Tests no longer threaten him. They confirm his stability. The war isn't external. It's within your own biology and psyche. Win that, and the rest becomes inevitable. Remember this. Mastery is a process, not a moment. Every interaction is an opportunity to reinforce your frame. Every subtle test is a chance to prove to yourself that your value is untouchable. Stand firm. Observe. Respond with composure. Align your life with value. And brother, watch as respect, attraction, and authority follow naturally. Brother, if you followed this far, you now see the game for what it really is. You understand the tests, the biology, the social programming. And most importantly, you know that mastery is possible. But knowledge alone isn't enough. You must apply it. Strengthen your frame. Observe. Respond. Live with purpose. Because the world won't hand respect, attraction, or authority to anyone. Not even the good guy. If you want more insights, strategies to reclaim your power, decode hidden signals, and master the unspoken rules of attraction, then stay with us. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join this brotherhood of men who refuse to be reactive, invisible, or manipulated. Remember, the battle is silent, but every day you choose to master yourself is another step toward dominance over the games you were never supposed to see. Stay sharp, stay steady, and I'll see you in the next video.